This is the recording of the Tweekers Tale, written by myself, Douglas Glover, and my buddy Josh Migan down in Florida. So, it goes like this. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house everyone was fucked up, even the mouse. We had half-gram shots and crystal meth galore, but what fun is that without a dope whore? Now Grandma made the boat, and Grandpa took a hit. The TV wasn't broken, but I was trying to fix it. I thought to myself, this is just how we cope, but to get through tomorrow, I'm gonna need some more dope. So I called up my cook and said, man, I need some more. He said, I got it for you, but you gotta bring me a whore. So I called up my homegirl and said, I got you a nice guy. She said, I don't give a fuck as long as I get high. So I picked up my chicken and went to my cook. Because I was tweaking, I drove by to take a look. I rushed down the road looking all around me. They're not, and the cars were probably up in the trees. My chicken looked surprised and said, what's wrong with you? I said, I think he's the feds and you're probably one too. The second ticked by and the sweat started to pour, and I knew my only option was to kill the stove whore. With tears welling up, I looked at her and asked why. I quickly realized, and she said, bitch, you're way too high. I said, you're a fed, we both know it's true. If you don't admit it, I'll fucking shoot you. I turned on a dirt road and I pulled out my gun. The fed jumped out my car and she started to run. Shadows moved all around me. It must be them boys with their AK-47s and the other high-tech toys. Very quickly, I started to reverse my car. When suddenly I saw a twinkling in the sky. No, not a star. I saw something small moving and blinking red, and I knew it must be GPS satellites overhead. So I jumped out of my car and headed into the night, when suddenly I saw the most incredible sight. The red blinking light moved toward me in a flash. Laser-guided missiles. I turned and hauled ass. The light swooped around me, then landed on the ground, and out of nowhere I heard the most frightening sound. Ho ho ho, you tweaker, how are you tonight? I said, who the fuck's there? Where's my flashlight? High power spotlights that could see everything. Suddenly I saw what had caused the twinkling. What I thought was satellites turned out to be Rudolph's nose and all the other reindeer, Santa and his hose. You know who it is. It's the Jolly SC. Didn't you know I'm the original Twackleberry? 4 billion houses I break into in less than one day. Without methamphetamines, there be no fucking way. Realizing that Santa was the man with the plan, I looked at him and asked if he had a gram. He pulled out a bag of North Pole shard and asked me if I also happened to smoke hard. Pure shock and amazement was the look in my eye, and these are the words with which I chose to reply. Crack is whack, mess the best, coke's a joke, so fuck the rest. With a jolly good laugh, he said, so you passed, and climbing my sleigh next to a fine piece of ass. I started to climb up. There were 7 fine hoes who said, if you have dope, anything goes. Some wanted to shoot, some wanted to snort. One said if I get pregnant, I promise to abort. I didn't know which ones I wanted to blow me, so I sat in between Kim and Lindsay. They went around the sleigh introducing themselves. They started with Amanda, who was fucking all the elves. Then came Samantha, who's really not that bright, but Santa looked at me and said, she'll fuck you all night. Then came a bi-duo, a bad bitch named Bree, who would only fuck if you included Mary. And last there was Carol, who would suck dick for a blast. She was proud of the fact that she could make you come fast. It dawned on me then, so I asked about Mrs. Claus, and Santa looked at me with a great pause. He said, I treated her like a true chicken head. I fucked her real good and left her in bed. Right after that, Santa called each reindeer by name, and when they started to fly, I thought I was insane. We lifted in the air, and we started our flight, and I knew right then it'd be one long fucking night. Now when I looked out the sleigh, I saw feds on the ground. I got everyone's attention, and then I pointed down. Santa pulled out an AK, then he started to fire. The feds started firing back, so we flew higher. But the feds, they were after us. They gave us a chase. No matter where we turned, they were all over the place. The Justice Department, ATF, and the NSA. The CIA, the FBI, and the DEA. I looked at Santa and said, what the fuck is going on? He said, the hell if I know. I've done nothing wrong. I said, I think they're after you because you're a fiend. But when I looked at it again, they were nowhere to be seen. As we continued our flight, Santa pulled out a rig and gave me a shot that was ever so big. We landed on a roof. I thought it was mine. He told me to hold on, that I'd be just fine. I walked to the chimney and dropped on down and thought I was dead when I took a look around. I knew it wasn't my house because everything was white and the machines next to me gave me a hell of a fright. Now suddenly I'm laying down and strapped to the bed, shut by my arms, by my legs, and even by my head. There's people all around me, but Santa's not there. They're telling me I'm okay and saying that they care. Where's Santa? I asked, and where the hell am I? You're in live streams on Detox, came the reply. Santa only comes out around Christmas time. It's the 4th of July. Have you lost your mind? I said, but Santa dropped me off, him and his reindeer. They said, no, a guy named Judd's the one who brought you here. They told me I'd been there the entire weekend, and I realized I didn't know how long I'd been tweaking. I started to realize that none of it was real. The doctor opened my mouth, and he dropped in a pill. He said, it's a Xanax. It'll help you sleep. It's what you need. You're 11 days deep. 4 days later, I finally awoke again and decided it was time to call my friend. He said, with methamphetamines, are you done? I said, hell no, bitch, let's go get spun. And it started again.